You know who's a loser as of right now? The Golden State Warriors.
Why you say that?
There's not much improvement on their center position. They haven't really brought in role players who can really play off those guys and be consistent, which they lacked in the playoffs, especially against the Wolves. And Steph Curry's coming back from injury. Jimmy's gonna have a full season, so I would assume they would kind of stack up the roster a lot sooner and try to bring in pieces or trade for pieces. But it doesn't seem like Joe Lacob and his sons, Mike Dunleavy, have been really aggressive and trying to get something going. I think the Kuminga negotiations really holding out, and it doesn't seem all that pretty, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Damn, they got Kevin Knox on this team. Yeah, they don't really have
Yeah,
much
they have
going,
no
and
long-term
it's
deal.
crazy. I'm looking at their salary. Wow, it's already high.
They're paying a lot,
Wow, they're already up to 170
but
before they
they
got
but a
like
lot of those
5 other
players are
players to
gone.
replace.
Looney's gone. Did they take account of the players gone?
Yeah, I took accountability of the yeah, I took into account the players that are not there, and they're already up to 170.
Yeah. So that's gonna be something for that's gonna be something to look out for. Where it's gonna be like, man,
Yeah,
the Warriors are gonna be one of
Draymond
those.
and Steph is 100 just by themselves, and then with Draymond, it's like
What about
100
Jimmy?
125.
With Jimmy too?
Yeah, Steph is 60, Jimmy is 54, Draymond is 25.
And they're all looking at what the end of their 30s. So that's kind of an interesting situation they're put in. And it's not looking pretty for them. And I don't know what the Warriors could do going forward. It's
It,
a win. Another yeah.
is
Continue.
is there any update on Kuminga, by the way?
Nah, they're just going back and forth on negotiations. The Warriors trying to lowball them.
I see why, man. Because if they give Kuminga, let's say they give Kuminga 30 or even 25,
They're done.
man, they're already at the luxury tax. What's the luxury tax? Oh no, they're
Isn't
over
Buddy a
that.
contract?
They're over that.
Buddy's gonna get a new deal, no?
Who?
Buddy Hill's gonna get a new deal.
Oh yeah, they might as well trade Kuminga, bro. Even if you lowballed him and gave him 23, it's still too much money because
You have to get some assets out of him, bro, so you can flip them.
yeah, they're
It's
already
just
at
not pretty.
170.
Because, bro, I'm not gonna because you're gonna have to pay Buddy. Buddy had a good playoff run. I don't see a world where they don't pay Buddy.
This is my issue with the Warriors. How come they never just made a decision on why the hell they have to have Kuminga and Wiseman on the team? You're a
Because
veteran team, bro. Just trade those guys away and get some veteran
because
players.
they're Joe Lacob's guy. Joe Lacob and his sons they've been involved in basketball operations for since the start of kind of the end of the Kevin Durant era. So for them, it's like they're project players. You know what I mean?
But I'm not gonna lie, this version of Golden State, this era, they've never been that like development team. They're not that.
They
I don't know
haven't been
why.
developmental team since the early 2010s.
Yeah, I don't know why they. I don't know
Bro,
why
it's the
they think
Suns.
this.
It's the Suns. Like, is the Suns have taken over the front office? It's nepotism.
Yeah, Pods had a bad shooting year. These guys weren't as consistent. Gary Payton too.
Yeah, Gary Payton had a bad year. Gary Payton, he's kind of a veteran at this point, bro, and he kind of plays a position that he's undersized in.
Yeah, Gary Payton might be. I don't know, because there's something about these like guys that are like Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, Gary Payton, where it's like they were once known for their defense, but that decline, especially when these guys get into their 30s, it happens fast. It happens in one
And the
season.
injuries add up too.
Yeah.
That's where it gets bad. I think with Gary Payton in that 2022 run really it boosted up his value big time.
It did, but at the same time, like it's his archetype of player, man. You see it in Marcus Smart and Drew Holiday. They went from like, oh man, he's a lockdown defender, he's great to have on the team, to
Yeah.
like in one season, it's like, oh man, that guy, we got to get rid of him. Like
It's
that's how
too
fast
much
it goes.
injuries. Yeah, it goes very fast. But fans still keep on that image while front offices move on quick.
Yeah, like what happened to Marcus Smart? Didn't he win like Defensive Player of the Year? And he was gone.
Yeah, now he's then he goes Memphis, and now he's in Washington.
Yeah, because they they they,
Um,
they saw the drop off,
yeah.
and it's like, all right, he's not
You want to talk?
scoring. If he's not playing defense, then whoa, we lucky to get what we're getting for him when we trade him.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, bro. I think I think with him, bro, I think with the Warriors, bro, it's just all about flexibility, which they lack. It's gonna be a problem for them for a long time, bro. I think right now is you have three aging players you committed to. You have to really go aggressive. This whole I don't know what the fuck they're doing with this non-aggressive, or do they look to make midseason trades? It doesn't really make sense to me, bro. Because I thought the Warriors midseason trade were awful. The Dennis Schroeder trade was awful, and they had to trade him midseason. It seems like I don't know. Jimmy was a good trade, but Jimmy he's on the decline. He's injury prone. How much of that can you make work if you give him a lesser roster? Bro, the idea of Jimmy Butler playing like 2023, like 2029, like 2019 to 2023, it's dead. It's dead. And I
Yeah,
think
I mean,
like
yeah,
especially with the one,
and that drop off is gonna happen fast too.
oh, 100%, bro. Because look at the mileage this guy's ran. Like, you know what I mean? And Steph Curry and Draymond, I don't think we need to talk about the mileage they had.
I would thought by now Draymond, man, I gotta admit he's holding up, bro. Like I thought by now Draymond would have fell off, but
Bro, Draymond is this bro, those kind of players hold on. And I'm not gonna lie, he's found his 3-point groove back. There's times where I'm like, damn, Draymond actually looks to shoot it. There was a point where Draymond never looked to shoot that shit.
mm. But you know what's so funny
Oh,
when they go back in the history books and look at that Warriors team, people are really gonna notice that Draymond was irreplaceable, man. Like
yeah,
you,
Draymond was irreplaceable. I think the Kevin Durant and the Jordan Poole scandals really stained it up. But you look at it, he did uphold the Warriors culture and kind of he fit very well. And his game aged like from what 2014 or 2025. And his game hasn't really regressed all that much. It's kind of stayed the same, which is great for a third option.
mm-hmm. Yeah, big body Dre. I would say Klay Thompson is easier to replace. They're still both very difficult to replace, but Klay Thompson after the ACL, it was much easier to replace
Achilles,
him than Draymond.
yeah.
Draymond, there's just too much intangibles he brings to that team that
Well,
I
I
don't think
think
they'll
they
be the same
successfully
team
replaced
without
him.
him.
That championship run, I think Wiggins kind of became that second option, and Poole kind of became that kind of equaled out to Klay Thompson. To be honest with you, on the offensive end,
Yeah, but but
because
but
Poole
it,
kind of became microwave player.
but it's like Draymond is like Draymond is
He's a
definitely
glue
like
on defense.
he's the Peyton Manning of that
Yeah,
defense, man. Like without that, I don't know if that defense will even be like that.
he's one of the best hub defenders in the league, right? So it kind of makes sense to keep him there. He's a good facilitator. He knows how to
Yeah,
make the extra passes.
yeah,
So he's
he's an
always gonna be
enforcer,
valuable.
and then
Yeah,
he holds his own players up to that standard on that end of the floor. Like you could tell there's a standard when he's there. There's like a standard.
yeah,
You got to be here. You got to move here. You got to help me out here. There's a standard. You could tell he's holding everyone up to that. So
one
it's
hundred
like,
percent.
yeah. So it's like, and then even like you could see it like he knows where to be. I mean, no lie. If Draymond had a different temperament, he would be a coach.
Yeah, I think Draymond, bro. I still think he could be a coach. It just depends on his mindset with Draymond Green. You know, he's up there with Chris Paul for me, to be honest with you, where he just knows he just knows the game in and out.
Yeah, Draymond is wow. But you know the sit down between Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond. If they ever do one of those sit downs like how Kobe and Shaq did it, man, the stuff, it's amazing. I'm just wondering what stuff is gonna come out about them Golden State years, because there's a lot
Yeah,
of shit
it's
we
gonna be an
don't
awesome
know.
documentary. It's gonna be a great documentary. I hope it comes out like on HBO, Netflix. It'd be incredible, especially when I think Steph and Durant, especially when they put up the boots, it'll be fun to watch. I
Yeah,
think Draymond already said he's on his last contract.
I hope they tell the stories about some of the fights that they had the year that they went back to back.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
that'd
something
be fun.
happened, man. Because I never forget Steve Kerr, man, when they won that championship. He's like, "Oh, this year is different." Like, and then that year, that's the year that they had like almost a perfect season as far as wins. But he made it seem like there was something like a cloud. He was like, "Yeah, man, it was tough for our guys, and in the locker room, and like nobody knew what he was talking about." But then, like when they started the next season, that's when you seen Draymond and KD blow
The
up on
Clippers
the
game.
bench.
Yeah, the Clippers game.
Yeah, that's when it started coming out. People were like, "Whoa, there's something happened," and nobody reacted crazy. That was you could
You
tell that
know,
happened a lot because nobody. If you look at everyone's reaction, nobody kind of reacted. Was like,
I
"Yo,
think
Draymond's
Livingston not
crazy."
on the team anymore, right? I don't think Livingston was on the team anymore.
No,
You didn't see a reaction from any of the veterans, Quinn Cook, Andre
no,
Iguodala,
there was no reaction because they've been dealing
Kevon
with it.
Looney.
They've been dealing with it
Yeah,
for years.
yeah,
That's why there was no reaction. They was dealing with it for years.
yeah. So I'm kind of like with the Warriors overall. I'm kind of interested in what they do because they have the big man problem they have to solve. I doubt they're gonna have Draymond run full time five with the Rockets double bigging up, the Wolves with three big men, Jokic and now Jonas, um, Zubac and Brook Lopez. So they have to do something in that regard. Get a big man. Maybe DeAndre Ayton could be someone they interest in. Maybe pull the Andre Drummond. They have to get somebody in the books, or else it's going to be a losing season for them. Just getting a big man and some depth, and but up until now, I guess is to be determined. But they're not very aggressive, which kind of is questionable.